Hello, everybody, and good afternoon. And welcome to Talking Horses as we kick off the Belmont Racing Festival.
Belmont Stakes Racing Festival,
Belmont
Andy.
Stakes Racing
BSRF.
Festival. That's it. I'm done. Opening of Talking Horses, and I already screwed up. Mr. Anthony Stabile.
Wow.
I was going to think Dr. Anthony. They're all, look, they're all doctors.
I'm the doctor of thugonomics, Andy.
They're all doctors. You know
Not
that story.
John Cena, it's me.
He's a wrestler, right?
He is.
He's funny, though. He's in Trainwreck. Trainwreck?
Trainwreck, yes.
Yeah. I'm Andy Serling, and I'm excited for the weekend. You know, we did get rain last night. Track's already listed as good. It's harrowed. Probably be fast sooner than later. Turf's list is yielding. I would guess it's probably on the good side of yielding.
We're labeled good, actually, right now.
No, the turf it's good. The main track's good.
Track's good,
The turf's yield. We'll see how it goes. You know.
Off for 5 and 9, by the way. Off the turf, 5 and 9.
We were supposed to get an inch and a half. We got about 2/3.
And we were supposed to get.
And it could have gone into
Saturday.
This afternoon.
Saturday.
3 days goes a washout. Now it's good. So I feel like we're already starting off.
I'll take it.
In a good spot. And for people wondering about the races on the turf today, Glenn Kozak and Brian Jabelman that take care of the surfaces, they leave the rails up on the inner and the Widener, the outer. There's 35 feet on the inner as far as we go, 27 feet in the Widener, which I believe is as far as we go in the Widener. And they'll come down today. You can already see if you're sitting where Anthony and I are, they've taken some of the rails down they're not going to be using on the Widener. And so they're running on a part of the course today. They're not going to run again, maybe not until the end of the meet, if the meet at all.
Right. The
rails will come down. So there's nothing's going to happen to the course, and specifically left up for that reason. And the first race on the Widener, and the other two on the outer. And I think on the inner, with the seventh, you got to run the stake. With the seventh race, if that race came off the turf, you and I would have to get into a horse suit to fill out the try.
We'd have grabbed 8,000. We'd have had a bankroll for Saturday.
Well, at least tomorrow.
First half of
Saturday. At least tomorrow.
Right. We'd have probably got to the first half
Don't
of
forget,
Saturday.
Sean's here this weekend, so, you know, we might have
Sean would have had a
so maybe we make it through the early pick 5 tomorrow.
The 9th today.
Right.
Hi, Sean.
Everybody has one of those friends where if they don't win the last race every day, they went home broke. Right? We all have one of those friends.
Yes. Most of mine are dead. Yes.
Dead or dead broke.
Yes.
Head over to Naira Bets if you're not a member of Naira Bets. Anthony and I are excited. It's nice out, and it's a great weekend of racing. It really is. And there's going to be some incredibly exciting horses running throughout the weekend. And I'm looking forward to talking about it with Anthony, as well as on America's Day at the Races throughout the week. A full team here as well. We'll match with $200 initial deposit. Use the promo code Belmont25. You've only got through Saturday to do this. Give you a free $25 bet to get that extra. We've got a nice promotion, bet $100 or more if you opt in. I forgot to opt in, but I'll do it right after the show. If you bet $100 more the first 5 races, I don't think that'll be a problem for either of the two people sitting up here. You get $10 back, so there you go. Who's that, you think? It looks like a Windstar horse.
Is that We the People? No, he wasn't number 8. No, he was number 4.
Right, it's not the big horse because he was in a 5-horse field in the Kelso. I think that's the only time he ran here, right?
Life is Good?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not him either.
Yoshida? No, that's a dirt race, though, I think.
Yeah.
What else do we have? We have the Belmont Stakes Challenge. You have until 5 o'clock today?
Yes, 3 hours.
$5,000 contest, seeded prize pool of $50,000, cash prizes tomorrow and Saturday's races. A lot of fun. Also, the Showdown. Oh, an online contest. It's a sign up. It's a freebie, free to play, and a $10,000 winner take. How about that? Winner take all.
Love it. Winner take it all, loser takes the fall. That's from Over the Top, by the way.
That's a wrestling. That's the arm wrestling.
Very
you know,
good,
I have
Andy.
a friend who is a consultant on that movie.
Really?
He's a very good.
Lincoln Hawk. He turns the hat around. Yeah. We're going to turn the hat around this weekend, baby.
My friend of mine was a consultant in that movie.
That's fantastic. Love that movie. Robert Loggia is in that.
Robert Loggia.
Terry Funk from the Double Cross Ranch in Amarillo, Texas.
Robert Loggia has got one of the great resumes.
Unbelievable.
He was a relative of somebody I used to work with downtown. Remember?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He's great in so many movies. Anyway, what else do we have? We have a lot of multi-race wagers Friday and Saturday. Go over to BelmontStakes.com for more details.
Tickets will be up for almost all of those wagers.
You're going to leave one out?
I'm leaving 2 chalky doubles out. Everything else, there'll be
really?
7 tickets up. Yeah, 7 tickets up, and we have blogs. The only thing that's not done yet are the turf. The only thing that's not done yet are the turf stakes for Saturday. There's blogs up for everything else over at NairaBets.com. We got you covered.
All right, we're about done. Test the Belmont Stakes tickets. Go to BelmontStakes.com. Still available. Come visit us on Saturday. It's going to be a nice day and a great day. You don't want to miss it. 50,000 people maximum can come here. 11,000 last year. Nobody 2 years ago. That was an eerie day.
Yes, it was.
And finally, last but not least, America's Day at the Races here in Churchill, 3 to 8:30 on FS2. Race number 1, still on the turf. So,
and it's a field of 5. Well, some of us didn't know it was a field of 5.
Anthony started the day out now counting properly. It's not a good start. The thing about this entry is we look at Artemis City Limits and Fauci, and I imagine Artemis City Limits taking the bulk of it, but Rue can win.
Yeah.
It's a two-pronged entry. Question is, you only want one. You're never going to get value. And Artemis City Limits, I don't have a problem with the 7 furlongs because he seems capable of blowing races at 7 furlongs, at 5.5 and 6, right? I mean, honestly, he's in one race after another. He's good enough to win.
Pretty
he
sure
finds
if he
a way to
runs in
lose.
the Belmont Gold Cup tomorrow, he would finish second.
Yeah, it's strange.
Or
and
third.
The horse that I want out of the race is Fauci. And some will look and say, well, is he a 7 furlong horse? Was his Oyster Bay a bad race behind value prop?
No.
And I thought he ran well off the layoff, a little closer than he might have wanted to be in there. And I think these horses, both your top pick, who I have no argument with at all. My problem is I bet him last time I got a price. But I'll tell you what, if he's anywhere near the 6-1, he's 5-1 now. There's no problem with that. And we can roll Yes and Yes as well. I think Fauci and Yes and Yes are very viable alternatives to the entry. What scares me about the entry is we're going to beat Artemis City Limits, and Rue's going to win the race. Not that I love Rue, but you have to admit his first race in the turf was pretty good.
Yeah, his first race in America was pretty good. Now, he got the set of soft pace that day, and for some reason, the late Fire, who was as fast as they come, was on the front end, but he didn't even show any speed that day. But he has run well fresh, so you'd have to think
that wasn't a fast pace, too.
No, it wasn't. But that's what I'm saying. Like he's on these soft paces, whereas in here, Artemis City Limits looks like he's just got to be in front in here. But how could you trust him?
I almost feel like if it was a race where Artemis City Limits wasn't in here, I could be interested in picking Rue.
Absolutely, because he'd be 5-2, 3-1.
Right.
But you don't want him now as part of an entry that's 3-5.
And I think that while the entry could win, they could run 1-2, only if Rue wins. It's just very hard to want to really take that entry at a super short price. And you and I have sort of split the two of them in half.
Yeah.
Got summer to remember third. Wow. Does Rudy know you're favoring Horacio over him?
Horacio's barn is doing very well as of late, and
nice horse, though.
I'll take him on the cutback. But like I said,
Rudy, I can't believe your buddy's turning on you like this.
I didn't turn on him right away.
This is really the first race you're turning on Rudy. I'm sure you'll make it up to him.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Race number 2, I thought was a fascinating maiden race.
Fun race.
Because I feel like 5 horses can win. And I feel like the 2 that might be the first and second choice, starting with this one here, Aunt Naughty, they're extremely vulnerable. Not to say they can't win. I know Aunt Naughty ran a big figure last time, but you could probably attribute it to being down the inside. And the day the rail was good. I know the third horse came back to win, but she won on the turf.
Yep.
And I'm not a big fan of this horse. I think there's too many horses that can move forward.
Put a third. There are too many more interesting alternatives that are going to be, at the very least, slightly better prices, right? Are we in agreement that she's likely going to be the favorite in here? What did David do with the line?
David made her the favorite.
Yeah, I
this
think she'll
race,
be the favorite.
There's, you don't know. Are they going to bet a lot on Chad? Are they going to bet Brad Cox? They might even bet the horse you have on top. I have second. You've got Veronica Green second. I don't like this horse.
So I went and took a look at the replay, and I've been in the lab. The beast. The beast is ready for the weekend, Andy. I feel like this
Even Kyle almost fell over.
Kind of what he did. I kind of feel like she walked into the gate last. And then just kind of...
She was sluggish. I don't disagree.
Just kind of like fell out of there almost. That's a wrong way to put it, but it's the first way that comes to mind. She kind of just fell out of there. And when she gathered herself, I thought she ran on well enough. I think she's going to appreciate the extra distance.
No, she's a tappet. She should.
So she's a tappet out of a Kitten's Joy mare, so she should run, in theory, 11 miles. So the mile should be fine. It was a wide-open kind of race. She was almost 4-1 and still went off favored that day. I just think with a little improvement, she'll be all right. I saw that David made her the second choice on at 3-1 on the line.
How's any of the horses, especially not just
the
way he does, but the way they've been running.
He had a bad week last week. He's only down to 37%.
I know. Well, he lost a few photos, and the way
I say that tongue in
law
cheek,
of averages
obviously
happens. I get it. I don't like the race she's coming out of. I didn't love her. She can win. I just wanted others. And I thought of the two that sort of had the similar running lines, the 3 Milan's Girl. I know Street Jam came from dead last in there and didn't run in a race that was dominating the front end in a tough race the other day. I thought this horse actually ran better. She was wider on the turn. I just watched that race, and I thought I liked her effort better. I thought she ran a stronger race than Chad's, and even though they look sort of similar on paper, I was going to take her stretching out. Brad Cox has big percentages, but not good ROI stretching out, but I thought she'd be an okay enough price. Just guessing, what about Spiked?
Yeah.
Take a look at Spike's race at Tampa. This horse lost to a Chad Brown horse that did win an off-the-turf race here. She ran the Beaumont in her next start. Why can't she win here?
She can.
Couldn't she also be controlling speed?
Infamous 5th pick, and you have to wonder, I would imagine after almost pulling it off on the front end last time that Aunt Naughty will be forward. Yeah, I mean, she comes out of a faster race, and you would imagine with the race under her belt that
I think Johnny's just supposed to go.
That's what I would do, but I don't know. I kind of feel like they got to keep each other company
on the
on the
your
front
horse
end.
could be a significant speed, too,
Yes.
precursory, and I thought about putting her on top. Bill Mott's 9. I have a stat. Just for you, Anthony.
Thank you.
Just for you. Good numbers, second start, stretching out, positive ROI. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think she'll be right off of both Aunt Naughty and Spiked if one of them decide not to go. I don't think she's – I'll put it to you like this. I can't imagine she's sitting worse than third.
Gosh, she's got to be. I totally
Yeah, she
agree.
gets Rosario. She gets the outside draw. There's a lot to like
Base
here.
projector has her farther back, but I tend to agree with you that she'll be far closer. Yeah, I have no problem with her at all. One thing that concerns me, and it probably concerned you a little bit as well, she was 8-1 in her debut.
Yep.
That bothered me.
But the mod horses don't always take money first time.
but
it was a weird track.
she's
I mean,
8-1.
look, she got beat. She was in a blanket for second too. So.
Well, I have no problem with the way she ran. I think she's super logical.
She's going to be. She's the best price of the horses. I think you and I think it's the 2, 3, 5, 7, and 8, like the rest of the world does.
I'm going to try to beat the 2 and 8.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Okay.
Race number 3, the Wonder Again, which is a prep for the Belmont Oaks.
This is the 71st stakes race named after a former Jimmy Toner trainee on the circuit.
Consumer Spending beating Pizza Bianca. Pizza Bianca came back and won her next start. She ran 6 buyer points less. She came back in relatively short rest. I saw a picture. She's already all over at Ascot getting ready for Coronation Cup next week. We can take a look at Consumer Spending's race in the Memories of Silver.
Glad you're showing.
I'm not convinced how good she is. I think she's pretty good, but she looks better in this field.
Let me ask you this question. I'm glad you showed the replay. Was there any scenario in which she was going to be running past Pizza Bianca last time? Right, that surprised me. I think for me that made the win that much more impressive.
Except I'm going to tell you something about this race. This was usually Christophe Clement running Chad Brown down in these circumstances because normally Chad Brown is the hunted, and other people are the hunters. And it was a rare situation of a Chad Brown-Klarovich horse where they kind of had none to lose. And Manny sat back and waited, and I think that Jose and Pizza Bianca was under a little more pressure. I don't think Jose did anything wrong.
No.
But I think that he had to make sure he didn't do anything wrong. And in putting her in the race when he did, it kind of allowed Consumer Spending to make that final run. I'm not saying Pizza Bianca ran better than she did. I'm not saying that at all. But I think it's a rare situation where Pizza Bianca was the one that had to not screw it up.
Right. Pizza Bianca and Consumer Spending came back from the 2-year-old layoff in fine form. And I think one of the things you do have to take into account now is Consumer Spending has a big win, the maiden win up on a yielding course at Saratoga, because this course obviously has plenty of give in it. And I think you want to take a look at that for all the turf races, obviously, and the fact that she already has a good race. And now you can say the same thing for Skims, who comes out of that Appalachian.
I thought she ran pretty well in the Appalachian. We'll show her race. I'm not blaming Pratt. Sometimes you're in the right position,
she got
and it ends up being kind of the wrong position, and the race is developing in front of you, and you just don't really have that fair chance. And also, Spenderella, who I believe is also running the Coronation Cup, and of the Americans, she's the more likely of the two.
Absolutely.
I don't know how she's going to win
she's a
over
good
there,
horse.
but she's a very good horse. And Dolce Zell isn't that bad either, the second-place finisher. And now Pratt's got to rally inside of that horse. She never got to get herself outside to make a run. The fig came up a little on the high side. I'm a little skeptical.
But even her race at Tampa, Andy, that race at Tampa
was good.
It was a big race off the. She was off 3 months that day too. And
I just noticed something. Finery was third in there. Finery was a Billy Turner horse, right? Didn't run that long ago, right?
Yeah.
She had a big pedigree.
Yes.
It's a very good dam, right?
Oh wow, that's right. Huh.
She had a stakes-winning turf and maybe a race named for her.
Was it Caress? Was she from that line?
My phone, someone will text me and my phone is in my office.
We'll get to it after.
It was badly behaved.
It might be Caress.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't think the others are good enough to compete here, Anthony. I mean, if the 3 loses, she's going to lose to Skims and all.
Vergara.
She's okay.
I mean, My Risky Affair, Sweet Sensation, and Vergara would have to go to a place they have not come close to yet in their careers to beat the top 2 horses.
Where is Diamond Hands and her elusive owner, Rob Masiello?
I don't know.
Basically disappeared from the planet. I don't think he likes us anymore.
Wow.
No, I don't blame him, but the 4th race, which kicks off the pick 6, no carryover, I thought the 4th race might be the most interesting race in the card.
4th races. There are some interesting races this week. There's a lot going on
in this race.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start with the horse that I like, and Sinful Dancer, who at least came alive, but he's just becoming a money burner, and he had the run of the race. Oyster was outside. I thought the rail got very good. Heck was that?
The remote control.
Yeah. I'm a fidgeter. But also, that someone remember with Ouster, she acted up before the race. She broke through the gate and ran off before the race. I liked Ouster last time. I thought her first race was good. I will argue this may be a tough race she's in. But if I bet Ouster last time, I have to give him another chance here. Because he lost his race before he got the gate, and then he lost it again breaking through the gate. So I'm going to give him another chance. I respect Sinful Dancer. You went in a completely different direction.
You're a brave man, by the way. This horse hit the gate at the start first time Ouster and then had the gate issues last time. I would like to see some sort of...
But he acted up. I have to think there's going to be something different today. And obviously, Maggie will be in the paddock. We can hear. Listen, you haven't given up on Flowing River yet?
This is an 11-horse field. I threw 2 of them out. I think it's that kind of a race. I think you can make cases for an awful lot of horses in this race.
I think the 8 and 11 are a tough. I don't really like the 7, though she's not terrible.
Right.
Just a kind of a tough spot, but she's not bad.
Not terrible. Right. But this
isn't
is a tough
Flowing River
race.
kind of run out of chances?
Fresh gelding.
Oh.
First-time blinkers. Quite frankly, Andy, a lot of these horses haven't shown much speed. Now, after the impossible start against Highly Respected against Open Company in his debut, he showed speed in both of his subsequent starts. And now he gets the gelding and he gets the blinkers on. And I would imagine that a horse that they've always liked this horse. They'll just start some talent.
It hasn't worked out.
It hasn't worked out yet, but those 2 things, the fresh gelding and the blinkers combined with a horse that already has some natural speed, lead me to believe he is going to get in front of these horses. Is that enough? I don't know. But I've already... I got a few dollars into him already. I feel like I own like 3% of him at this point. I got a few dollars into him already. I'm going to give him I know it's a wide open race, and he's probably going to take some money based on the gelding, and he took some money last time, and the blinkers, but I'm going to give him one more chance.
Okay. I don't like him, but hey, have at it. Let's talk about Asymmetric and Catching Cupid. As you'll remember, I was way against Catching Cupid out of this race last time he ran because he was down in the gold rail. And he was dressed up, but Asymmetric wasn't. Asymmetric was out in the 4 and 5 path. So Asymmetric was way against the track. And I think even though he lost at a short price, he had an excuse. He, too, is a new gelding. It's just connections that take too much money. So while I've got him second, I think he'll run well. I think he'll benefit from the layoff. I'm not putting him on top.
You can't put them on top because he's probably going to be 9-5 in a race where we think 9 horses can win number 1. But the other part of that is if you're playing a pick 4 and a pick 5, you're not. There's these Chad horses. Too many of them have come back and just crop dusted the fields they face. So if he wins by 4.5 lengths today, I don't think I'm going to be surprised.
Yeah,
so
this is a tough race. I'm not sure it'll be that short. Maybe he will. I don't know. Because let's talk about others. Devil Boy ran fast figures his first 2 starts. He didn't run last time. Maybe needed the race.
He had a little bit of trouble, right? He kind of got jostled about just a little bit. I mean, enough to discourage him for his first start.
Made a middle move.
Almost a year, yeah.
Tommy Gunn ran in a tough spot after running in a very tough spot first time out.
Tough spot after tough spot,
Certainly not impossible here. And I'll tell you another horse who I think is interesting. I just couldn't put him in all the spots.
Conquest?
Conquest made a middle move into a race that collapsed at the end. He finished just ahead. Now, the agility was fourth, I think, in there. And agility came back and ran big races out of there. Now, agility did more dirty work than needed, but he did a little bit of dirty work. He was obviously a big tip first time out at 4-1. And I don't think Conquest should be completely ignored in here either.
I'm with you. Like you said, Ocean's Reserve is going to be a giant price. And off his last race, I don't think he really did anything wrong. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can go in here.
I agree.
Fun race.
I think this race came up a very, very, very interesting race. Race number 5. I understand Wesley Ward must want to run Talkin' Pharaoh on the turf, but
how do you scratch out of this race?
He would have been 2-5 in here. 2-5.
And I looked. It's not a 2-year-old turf race. I mean, unless they put an extra up, it's a while. And that made no sense to me either.
I'm shocked this horse.
Made no sense to me either.
Now maybe it was a vet issue. Maybe he didn't take him out. Maybe there was an actual issue to be scratched. But to me, it's insane.
I don't know.
Did he not ship because rain was coming? I mean, come on, Wesley.
Possible.
It's going to be 2-5 in here.
Yep.
I scratched into the same horse as you, and I have no confidence. But one thing about Todd, he leaves him in. And this horse has turf pedigree, but there's okay dirt in there too.
Yeah. No, I mean, and all the dirt, all the work tab on the dirt's fine.
Left?
Yeah, the rest of the way you're going to go.
I mean, you want to use Rudy? Okay, didn't take any money, didn't do any running first time out.
Right. Gets a pair of blinkers, but nothing else is really not much changing. And second time to the turf, you lead you to believe he's trying to get her on the grass.
Yeah.
Trying to get him on the grass.
But a horse like this with experience in this field.
Yes, important.
For Rudy, goes to the front and,
Yep.
I think Mitch Freeman's horse is a little interesting. Oh, you got him second, too.
Mm-hmm.
This horse worked 10 4/5 the 2-year-old sale, which obviously is a slow time. But given his pedigree, I thought he sold pretty well. And I actually liked the way he ran in the workout. I'm kind of curious to hear Maggie's impressions of this.
And a rare Cara for Richard Greeley that's not a homebred.
Yeah, usually they're homebreds. Anyway, see what happens. The surprise, though, is Talkin' Pharaoh didn't run. We have the late pick 4, which has 2 stakes for 2-year-olds coming up after a quick break.
Who you betting on? How about an app created specifically for horse racing? Naira Bets. We specialize in thundering hooves, fist pumping, and boosting your bankroll with robust weekly promotions. And offer betting tips from actual horse racing experts. Bet all day and night, nationwide. Get the action and thrill of horse racing with Naira Bets.
We're back. Dr. Stabile. Nurse Serling.
Could you imagine if you were, God forbid, laying in a hotel room, a hospital room,
And you came in as a doctor and I as the nurse?
Yeah. Could you imagine? Yeah. How fast would you get out of that bed? 22:44, 108 and 1.
Or you might
Gone.
Or you might never get out of the bed. My friend Norm Cassie has Devious Dame in here. We'll take a look. Devious Dame's race at Churchill.
The Astoria used to be run right around 4th of July weekend. We moved it up now as part of the Belmont Stakes.
Used to be run in May. Ruffian won it.
It was May, and then it moved to like 4th of July.
I think that Ruffian won. This is her second start.
I believe you're right.
Here's a question for you. Who was favored in Ruffian's debut, which she won by 15 lengths?
Oh, I have no idea.
I think Suzette for Woody Stevens.
Okay.
So, I don't know. This horse looked good. I was excited to see Norm Cassie with a horse for Jack Oxley. Jack, a super guy who's obviously been involved a lot. Monarchos, Beautiful Pleasure. But, of course, his father trained a lot of horse for him as well. Yeah, I'm a little bit rooting for him, but I think he's going to be tough off that race. But let me ask you a question. You've got him on top. I'm not taking Girl By lightly, and we'll take a look at Girl By's race.
For a guy that's covered an awful lot of races from Gulfstream Park and Gulfstream Park West when it existed, Calder, if you will, Michael Yates is as under the radar a guy as you'll see down there. And this filly, again, watching this replay, she was out of there fast, and she just kept on going, man.
I'm not taking her lightly.
Fast.
I'm not taking her lightly. I'm also not taking Chuck Lawrence lightly.
No, me either.
Yeah, they didn't. She's not in the pace projector. They didn't have a pace fig for her, but I agree. She could be the speed. Now, the other thing is, she's had horses come out of that race to run well enough to suggest that figure could have been okay. He has very good numbers, Yates, off maiden wins with 2-year-olds, not with second-time starters.
Oh, interesting. So when they have one under their
He's
belt?
6 for 16 overall off maiden wins and dirt sprints with 2-year-olds, and he's just 1 for 6, I think. 1 for 6. He's 5 for 10 with horses that have more than one
scary.
start.
5 for 10 after, wow.
But more than one start, yeah. And ROI is good. It's like $4.
Well, that was the thing that impressed me too. When this guy wins, the horses pay $30, $40. This horse was 2-1 first time out. This horse got bet off the board first time out and galloped. So
I'm with you.
I'm going to take a shot with her.
I'm with you. I think that horse very. I also think Chuck Lawrence's horse in the rail is not bad. You know, you look at some of the horses that come out of that race. They ran much better figs. This horse could run okay in here as well.
Yeah.
I don't think the Norm's horse has to win.
Listen, you got 3 horses coming in from 3 different places, right? You're making the late pick 4s. You're making the kicks
5
off the
horses
late pick
coming
4.
in from
5 horses.
different places.
The 2 maidens are kind of hard to make. The other 3,
Say
I
my
think,
name.
I don't know how you leave one of them out if you're playing late pick 4s and late pick 5s.
I agree.
Right? And it's hard to do that. It's hard to separate these 3.
I'm not trusting a horse off of one maiden race.
It's kind of thing again where it's like almost like I feel like she'll be the best price girl buy of the 3, so I put her on top. But that guy doesn't take money. When they take money and win like that, they're usually okay.
No argument. That horse can win. Race number 7. I'm sorry, Ensemble scratch because I do not like Ensemble. And
yeah, that was a late one.
Oh, so now you're sucking up. Now you are. It's too late.
Knew this was coming.
It's too late. It's
Knew this was coming.
Over for you.
Waiting on this one.
Talk about investment strategy. Your top selection, I have second.
Yeah, you know, she ran into stablemate, split then double first time out, barnmate, I should say. And then last time out, she just kind of, I'll tell you what concerns me a little bit, Andy. I don't know if she really loved the ground last time. Maybe you have a better excuse
The problem
for her.
that she had last time was that she was 2, 3, 4 wide around the racetrack on a day and a race where if you weren't on the rail, you had absolutely no chance.
Oh, right. This was opening week. Yes.
So I do think she has a very, very viable excuse for a last start.
Well, this was the day I buried Seth all afternoon. This was Memorial Day.
The other thing she had against her was that Anthony picked every one of the Karlovich horses and they all lost. Yeah. So he owes it to him to bury him one more time. I just wonder if Baby Blythe might be a better horse.
So I liked Baby Blythe a lot last time. I was worried about the distance. Maybe she wants more ground. Man, I got to tell you, she didn't run 2 steps last time.
Let me say a couple things. First of all, it felt like a prep. Second of all, I don't think the turf was firm because don't forget we got rain.
We got that rain.
So there was give, and that's a tricky kind of rain because it's wet on top.
And that horse came in from
and
Brad
it's tough
Cox,
to close.
And
the winner ran.
Nobody was close to her on the front end or at the end.
I don't disagree. She's got one fast race.
Yeah.
It was a supersonic pace at Saratoga to mile and 3/16, but it also was second off. And I'm wondering if she just needed to start.
See, I don't think there's any shot. No offense, David. I think Baby Blythe's the favorite in here, don't you?
No, it is the Chad Brown factor.
Maybe.
And it's Pratt against Luis Saez.
He's usually right about these things, like you
always
say.
Yeah, I think it's close.
I also think investment strategy has a little bit of a tactical edge because unless you think Lady Taparado is just going to go to the top in here, I would imagine Pratt's going to be aggressive from the rail, and at the very least, she's sitting second. If I would put her on the lead and see what Miss Taparado does.
I think Les Connor's got a blast off. And by the way,
he does that, right.
In fairness to Miss Taparado, she chased outside against the track last time, and she was off over
I thought about 15 months.
Trying to use her. I just don't know if she's good enough, but she was off a long way. I don't want a Lara here. I've got her third, but she just sucked along on the rail last time.
Yep.
And I think out of that race, you're supposed to take investment strategy.
Absolutely.
And it's similar price.
Especially
for
the
her.
same price, right?
I didn't think community adjusted was impossible in here. Isn't Rob involved with this horse? Isn't Rob involved with this horse?
I'm not sure.
I thought he did. But
you know what's funny? I feel like he was involved in the other horse.
He may be like in a disguise now or something.
And this Lady Rockstar race is starting to come up a little bit of a key race. She had a horse went out of there yesterday at Churchill.
Oh, really?
Galloped, won by like 7
Lady
lengths.
Rockstar looked good. You liked her more than I did the other day, and she won for fun. You were right to be. That horse of Brant's was a runoff, though. She ran off on Pratt.
Ran off. That was crazy.
Weird.
She opened 7-8 length lead. You never see horses from Chad Brown do that.
I thought she actually ran okay there. She didn't get clear until later. I didn't think she was.
She's one pace. She's a little bit of a
I don't know if
grinder.
she's good enough, but I didn't think she ran badly in that race.
She probably wants a little bit more ground, and she could probably use a little bit more pace. But like you said, if Miss Taparado and Lascano try to bottom the field out, maybe she gets that pace.
I felt like on their best races, Baby Blythe was the horse to beat. And I don't disagree. I think she and the one will be very similar price. I mean, David agrees with that also. So the Tremont camp, a good race.
Very good race.
Scratch the one, stay on her good side.
Fun name.
I like that.
Yeah.
I was thinking it'd be a 2 honor and serve.
Honor. Well, you got the honor code there now. Yeah.
I think 2 honor serves getting about as much action as I am these days. Valenzen Day.
Oh, my Lord.
Valenzuela Day beat a heavily bet Wesley Ward.
Is that why you brought up Emmanuel last weekend?
It just, you got to realize, Anthony, and you know this, the idiocy comes to me at the moment. I don't plan the idiocy. It just occurs to me. And
nothing up, that's the truth. Nothing up here is contrived.
I have no filter. It just all comes out.
That's fantastic.
Let's take a look at Valenzuela Day's race, guys. I know you're keeping it from everybody. He ran. Got a big fig. Beat a heavily bet Wesley Ward horse. And the thing I liked about him was he kept running. The Ward horse got away from him top of the stretch because I remember I picked him and I thought, oh, well, it was a decent try.
You never see this comment. You hardly ever see this comment with 2-year-olds where they're laying close, they lose ground, and then, boom, they come back and get him. Big effort. Gigantic effort.
There's a legend of horse racing. Here? Legend. Mike Joyce appears in the scene.
Oh, yes.
Somebody call security.
We were talking last night about our love for cigars.
Really?
We're trying to get a stick before the weekend's over.
So don't pull a Jean Cruguet and walk in front of the camera. I don't know if anybody remembers that. Was I on with Jason when that happened?
Yeah,
I think I was on with Jason. And Cruguet just walked in. We're like, I think he's dangerous. You've got him second. I got him fourth.
Well, you got the money first time with him. You got the 15 and change. So you're allowed to, But the fact that he was able to sit and kept engaging on the well-bet firster, big effort, and he did it. It was a professional effort, and like you said, that's a
Hudson.
big fig. Yeah, Nonay Hudson.
I'm scared of this horse. I almost put him on top. I put him second. We'll take a look at his race at Keeneland. It's so hard to judge these 4.5. Yeah. Not a big meet at Keeneland for Wesley Ward, but this one ran, and the second horse came back, and I can't even read my chicken scratching.
Here's your question. You surprised not to see this one at Ascot?
No.
I was.
Maybe he doesn't think is a turf horse.
Maybe.
Maybe he wants to win the prestigious Tremont. I think that Bold Forbes won the Tremont in his first start in this country before winning the special in Saratoga.
Wow.
I think.
Before my time a little bit, my friend.
75.
Couple of years. 75.
Yeah.
All 74?
It's an amazing horse. Who beat him in the Vosburg when he came back?
I just told you I wasn't around.
Vosburg was really the sprint championship at that point. My Juliet, the filly, she wired the field. She was boy, you would have loved her. You would have loved her. So the horse you have on top, two of a kind, coming in for Ryan Lynch.
Talk about breaking like a shot. He broke from the inside under Louis Saez, who rode Valenzuela Day and rode this horse. Stays here.
That was interesting.
Yeah, me too. I mean, this horse looked good breaking his maiden Derby week. Just went right to the top. And unlike the Astoria, where there looks like there's a lot of speed signed on, there doesn't look to be too many.
Wesley's horse is quick.
This horse is quick.
I feel like this
horse is going to be in front.
I understand there isn't as much speed signed on.
This horse is quick.
This could be a quick pace.
This horse is quick.
They could be moving in here.
He's faster than the other two speeds. I like when the speed can outrun the others. I think he's going to get him in front. I think Louis is going to get him in front. I think it's important that he stays with this horse as opposed to Valenzuela. I mean, Valenzuela Day ran up. I mean, I know Andiamo a Firenze ran a 82. Forte ran an 81. I'd have to imagine the 76 Valenzuela Day ran has to be a top 5 2-year-old fig so far.
Of all the 2-year-olds we've seen so far, the one I like the most is Forte. Not knocking the New York bred for California.
But it was a wet track.
It was a good rail. It was on a good rail.
Yeah.
It was a wet track.
That's fine.
He was highly touted.
I like him best
he was
so far,
highly
but that's me.
touted, so he's probably a good horse. I thought that Forte, or Fort, however you want to pronounce it, you can pronounce it either way, I think. I thought he was very professional.
Me too.
That's the thing I was saying after the race, that I thought he was more professional than Witt. It's not that Witt's obviously a good horse.
Right.
But first of all, he ran a much faster fig first time than Witt did, but he also...
And they're different horses.
Finished
he's by Speightstown, but Andiamo Firenze did something his brother couldn't really do, and that was run well on a wet track, so we'll see what happens.
I think that Forte Day came back a good rail, and he closed.
Okay.
I took Zelensky strong, and it's not just because it's a great name. I got to tell you something. You look at some of the horses in this race... They came back and ran figures that make it feel like this horse might have run a supersonic fast race. The fourth horse came back and ran a 54 Beyer. Well, he was beaten, almost over 13 lengths, which puts him in speed figures about 45 points below this horse. And I understand it's 4.5 furlongs. They don't do figures for these races. I think there's a possibility. Now, Timeform US does not have a particularly fast race. Timeform US has this race fourth fastest between the 4, 5, and 7. And I respect Craig a great deal. But the way horses ran out of this race, I felt like coming in. I know Peter Walter shipped some horses, had some success up here he's had in the past. Shipped a 2-year-old up here. Feels like you almost wonder sometimes some of these horses, they're bringing them here to showcase them, to try to run well and sell them. Or at least part of them, you know?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a shot with this horse.
Infamous 5th pick.
Well, there's only 7 in here. Even the horse you have, by the way, ran off 3-ace pre-race. I mean, I didn't see it and talk to anybody down there. I should have spoken to one of our friends down there, but I don't know. Why couldn't this horse be okay?
My man Brooks, he's here. Part owner Jerry Brooks is here with the missus. Source past horses, if some speed hits, maybe.
And I'm assuming that's a relative that trained and probably not licensed in New York or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought this was a really, really good race.
Fun race.
Yeah.
7 to second-time starters, all broke their maiden first time out. Yep. Coming from all over, including some local.
Much stronger than I would have thought it would have been.
Me too.
The last race, I have no videos for the last race. If you can think of one, let me know. You know, I don't want to take Dame Time on top. Who's going to be overbet on turf races, and I understand the first dirt race was fine, and the horse is fine, but I don't want to put this horse on top.
I mean,
I just
you're
don't
braver than me, my friend. I couldn't do nothing.
Well,
now.
that's a given.
Well, you went to Creedmoor.
I'm brave. Let's be honest. I'm braver than most people.
Did you think this was Creedmoor?
I did when I first saw it. I did. Didn't you?
Creedmoor is a mental health facility not far from the gates here at beautiful Belmont Park that many people feel Andy and I should be inhabitants of.
The way I found out Creedmoor is it's near Belmont. Years and years ago, I think it was around 1979 or 80, I was taking the bus back from Meadowlands with my sister and her husband. I don't think they were married yet. My brother-in-law, Seth, he would remember this. And we were on the bus, and there was a woman yelling at the man she was with. This was on the way home. And I'm sure some of you at home have taken those buses back from the Meadowlands to Port Authority.
Of course.
I've done it no less than 500 times.
Done it twice.
Oh, forget it. Forget it.
As soon as I got the
somebody
car,
yelling at her,
the
the guy with her, you're going to end up in Creedmoor. Oh, way. And that's how I learned what Creedmoor was.
First place I went was Shea Stadium when I got my car.
Second was Creedmoor.
Second place was the Meadowlands.
Creedmoor was third. So anyway, I put him on top, and not because of the name. Their shorts worked 10 flat at the sale. I get it. They paid 130. He's in for 40 now. I almost wonder, Jimmy Creed, if this is a horse that when Jamie Begg entered, thought it could rain and get rained off. And
my favorite Jimmy Creed's running Saturday.
You don't have this horse in the top 4.
I don't, no. I mean, I probably slept it a little bit. But
I took Creedmoor, you took Miscreant.
I took Miscreant, yes.
Well, Jimmy Ryerson.
I'm a big, of course. And Doozy Bots. Doozy Bots is a great name.
You have to respect him. He ran on the turf first time. He ran on the other Wesley Killer Shardy Party. Mm-hmm. I guess Wesley's saying right away he got it wrong. But do we have any guarantee he can run? I'm going to use him.
No, the blinkers go on. The mare was 11 for 38, just 3 starts on the turf. She was 0 for on the turf. I mean, he ran this horse first time grass, and now all of a sudden she's on the main track. But the
Wesley
main
just
track,
runs him. But he doesn't give this horse a chance on the dirt in a maiden special.
So hard to pick Miscreant after getting beat by My Delicious, right?
That's why I couldn't. I know. I kept seeing that every time. And every time I came back to it,
I went to write 3 for the dirt picks, and I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it.
I agree. I saw that. I'm like, this horse lost to My Delicious. I can't do it.
Poor My Delicious.
The first day of the Belmont Stakes Racing Festival. It's going to be a fun day. It's going to be a great weekend. We hope you come out and join us. Come say hi. Anthony will be conducting an autograph session the entire weekend. His time is your time. My time not, but his time is your time. Yes. Head over to Naira Bets. If you're not a member, use the promo code Belmont25. We will match $200 of your initial deposit and make a free $25 bet as well. That'll continue through Saturday through the Belmont Stakes. Bet $100 or more in the first 5 races. Opt in. We'll give you $10 back, win or lose. Going to do that as soon as we leave here. Head back to my office, get my phone.
I'm doing it now.
I'd leave it plugged in. It was running out of power. Not really. It was, me. I have to have it at like 107%, or I get nervous, sweat.
That doesn't exist, Andy.
Whatever.
So you tell me right now. There's no such thing as 110%.
110%. I love that athlete saying that. That's all right.
Please, I don't want to talk about it. Let's keep it positive.
It's been a great
Belmont
season.
Stakes Racing
It's been a great season so far, and it's going to be a great season. They're allowed to lose games. It's baseball,
Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes it rains.
It's one thing my friend John Angelo said to me. Remember that game the Orioles blew late? And he said to me, in baseball, you lose some tough games, you win some tough games. You can't sweat them all.
What do they say? It's 60 and 60, and whatever you do with the other 40 is what matters, right?
It's the old axiom, you win half your games on the road and 75% at home, they used to say. But I think home field matters less than it used to in all sports. Belmont Stakes Racing Challenge, it should be a betting challenge, handicapping betting. It's a live money contest, $5,000 buy-in. You've got yourself about 2 more hours to sign up, 5 o'clock
2.5 hours, yep.
2.5 hours. Head over for that, NYRA.com/contests. We have the Showdown. It's a freebie to play. It's online on this Saturday, Belmont Day. Winner take, I love that winner take all.
Yeah, winner
my
take all.
My friend Steve will be playing that. Steve's big on these. He gets himself up at the top. Head on over to NYRA.com to get more information. Sign up. Do it. Prizes. An afternoon with Stabile. Anything, it's all sorts of good stuff there.
I will gladly spend the afternoon with any and all racing fans.
Anthony is America's friend, let me tell you. A friend to all.
If you love horse racing, I love you. Plain and simple.
Absolutely. What else do we have? It is true, by the way. Never be intimidated. Anthony is one of the world's good guys. Plenty of multi-day wagers. Anthony's going to give you picks on all the ones except for the short-priced ones. Got a little lazy at the end of the day. Go to BelmontStakes.com for more details on those. Belmont Stakes tickets are still available. Come out and join us. Come just to see, a great day of racing. And it's going to be a great day of racing. Phipps is it's got all the right horses in there.
4 Grade 1 winners and Bonnie South, who can hold her own with the best of them. It's hard to believe
she's not a Grade 1 winner.
Yep.
And including Malathon search results. First time they've met since last year's Kentucky Oaks.
Yeah.
A tremendous race. Could have been a little more tremendous, but could have been tremendous-er.
Could have been tremendous-er. Sure could have.
I've told that story, right? About the hat?
Yeah.
That's a great story. Belmont Stakes tickets. And finally, last but not least, 3 to 8:30, America's Day at the Races, covering the races here in Churchill. The whole crew is here. From Anthony and I, have a wonderful beginning of the Belmont Stakes Racing Festival. John Imbrial, the voice of New York racing, up next with a reprise, The Scratches and Changes. Enjoy your day.